I open my heart to a new beginning. A new beginning starts today. Spirit within me moves me, and I'm open. It's a new beginning. I open my heart to a new beginning. A new beginning starts today. Spirit within me moves me, and I'm open. It's a new beginning. Every beat of my heart is a new beginning. Every breath I take is a new beginning. Every thought I think is a new beginning. Every song I sing, I open my heart to a new beginning. A new beginning starts today. Spirit within me moves me, and I'm open. It's a new beginning. Every beat of my heart is a new beginning. Every breath I take is a new beginning. Every thought I think is a new beginning. Every song I sing, I open my heart to a new beginning. A new beginning starts today. Spirit within me moves me, and I'm open. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. I am Edward Fillion and I'm here at the Center for Spiritual Living so as to remind you of the beautiful place that we call our spiritual home, and to let you know that our staff are properly taking care of the property so that you can have faith. And that is the topic for today. You can have faith that one day when we return, and can you imagine that beautiful future? I can. One day when we return to be together, we'll be able to enter our beautiful facility and enjoy it. Right here behind me is our office and bookstore. Oh, our bookstore. Do you remember shopping at our bookstore? You know, we used to have a Book of the Month program, and we're bringing that back because we ordered all the books in advance, and so we're going to ask you to partner with us to purchase the recommended books of the month from Stepping Stones Bookstore and not anywhere else. Okay, I know you can get it cheaper in so many different places, but you can't get it with love from your spiritual community like you can get it from us. And right over here is our social hall entrance and our sanctuary entrance. And if you've come to services here physically, you know this is where our welcome committee stands to greet you and to welcome you to your center. Now I'm going to go inside, but I have to put down the camera for a moment because I have to take my temperature, I have to put my mask on, I have to wash my hands because there are other staff present and we all follow the same safety protocols. We're practicing for that time when we are together. So I'll see you in a moment. So now I'm properly checked, my temperature is normal, my hands are sanitized, I got my mask on, and I've been given permission to take it off to do this video for you. I want to show you that the renovations for our physical bookstore, it's underway. They are underway. I'm not doing very well with my grammar today, but here you can see the work in our bookstore is taking place. So when you come back, it's going to be a whole new experience, and you will recognize some of the features of our social hall. There we are all ready for the rainy season with our coat rack, and you'll recognize the beautiful artwork that always greets us here at the Center for Spiritual Living and our social hall. We're taking advantage of this time to clean it thoroughly, and so you'll see the walls are completely clean and beautified and stripped of debris, and that's where our Sunday announcements are usually displayed. And now I'm going to take you to our sanctuary where we gather in community. Oh, here we go. And you know, there's a reason why I'm doing all of this. It's because I want you to feel with me that heart connection to your Center for Spiritual Living. We're going to turn the lights on for you so that you can see where it is that we gather when we are together. And then there was light. There is a reason why I'm doing all of this with you. It's because it's time for us to consider our financial support of the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. The last 4 years, every time we get to this time of the year and we have our giving intention, you know, like the pledge program, there's been something, a fire, a pandemic, this, that. Well, this year, we thought we would move up our pledge program to September so as to be able to do it without concern about the fire. And of course, the fires came early. So it is with compassion that we are reaching out to our communities that have been touched by the fire. And my goodness, the courage that it takes to live these days and stay centered. I can only say, I, like many of you, think of the Center for Spiritual Living as a lifeline. And I want it to be here for future generations. And so I'm asking you, and you'll hear our COO, Linda Han, ask you again, to consider how you might support your Center for Spiritual Living in the year 2021. We no longer have income from our bookstore. We no longer have income from our fundraisers. We just have each other. So today you'll get information about how you can pledge your ongoing support. It's just a way of letting us know what you intend to give in the next year. So keep that in mind and you'll get the information shortly. I mentioned earlier on that our theme today is faith. And so I want to play a short video for you about faith, a video that I prepared in my role as spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living for our whole movement, all about faith. Hello, I'm Edward Fillion. September's suggested themes from Centers for Spiritual Living is all about faith. And here is a story that I believe beautifully illustrates faith. A tightrope walker demonstrates to a crowd that he can walk on a rope stretched across a canyon. When he returns to the spectators, he asks, "Do you believe I can walk across the rope?" "Yes," they reply. Then he takes a wheelbarrow and walks across the rope, pushing it ahead of him carefully to the other side and back. And when he returns, he asks the delighted crowd, "Do you believe I can walk across the rope pushing a wheelbarrow ahead of me?" "Yes," they exclaim with growing excitement. Then he puts a friend in the wheelbarrow. And to the crowd's amazement and enjoyment, he conveys the friend safely across the canyon and back on the rope. The tightrope walker asks the crowd, "Now, who would like to climb in the wheelbarrow and let me carry them across the rope?" No one answers. Variations of this story are told to illustrate the difference between belief and faith. It's a good story for that purpose, because even though I may have watched a tightrope walker complete the journey several times across the canyon, there remains a gap between my observation and my experience of it. It is the gap that is so fascinating. It's the gap that people are talking about when they say they went out on a limb. I can't know if I'm going to make it safely across, like the previous passenger did in the wheelbarrow. That's the gap. And I think it's healthy and sane to be upfront about the unknown element. I may decide to climb into the wheelbarrow of life. And when I make that decision, I may be trembling. When I do climb in, I'm not going to be counting on a primitive regional god with personal preferences who is vengeful and jealous to make it all work out right in the end. No, if I fall, it's not because life rejected me or because I was bad or I didn't have faith. If I fall, it's because sometimes people fall. There is a risk. I trust goodness in the form of people who help me get up when I do fall, and I don't trust a God who is like a superintendent, watching over things with a sort of random favoritism. If anything, I think about the divine as the intelligence that binds all of existence together. I think of it as being present everywhere, in me and in all people. And I'm learning to be more aware of it and to draw upon it to figure out when should I get into the wheelbarrow and when I should not. And to have that kind of relationship takes intimacy. Team members of the group that put together this month's theme content include Charlie Shepard, Louise Talon, Kim Bergner, Chris Ferraro, Ninoska Duenas, Joylyn Hertz, and Tony Diaz. The team reminds us that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And that in the prophet it is written, faith is a knowledge within the heart beyond the reach of proof. I look forward to exploring faith with you this month. My blessings to you.
Free my soul in my awakening. In my awakening, I am whole. I am whole. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. As I love, as I love, as I give, in my awakening, I choose to live, give me strength, shine your light,
There is one universal power, a divine presence, an eternal love, an infinite intelligence that is always working throughout its creation. I recognize that right where each of us is, it is working in, through, and as us. That this love, this joy, this peace, this intelligence is indeed who we are. The divine mind itself having taken form in this world. So I remember that as we come together in witnessing today's service, that we are the divine ones itself. And that it is not happenstance that we are here in this exact moment, but rather it is spirit calling to spirit to expand awareness of itself. So I welcome for each of us as this service unfolds, that each one participating, each one witnessing is blessed in the revealing of new ideas, new ways of loving, new ways of finding joy, of finding peace, and of sharing it with all beings. So for the way that this service uplifts us and everything around us, I give thanks now as this word is released, and so it is. Amen. Hello, I'm Joyce DeFala, a minister at the Center. Today's affirmation is from our Beyond 2020 Spiritual Vision Book of Affirmations. Amid situations, conditions, and circumstances, I turn inward to that place of safety and peace. I lean into God's embrace. I rest in that place of sanctuary, peace, and renewal. And so it is. Amen.
1, 2, 3. With a little bit of hope, we begin to discover. With a little bit of faith, we see our way over the field. It will open before you. We begin to recover from all of our doubt that is blocking our will. With a little bit of trust, we can go up our stair step. With a little bit of love, we learn to believe in ourselves as a spirit, become our own lover, spiral above, where we can receive when we fall back to that dark place before this, and pull the covers over our spirit. I know there is light just beyond this, lighter and brighter than we've ever been before. With a little bit of hope, we begin to discover. With a little bit of faith, we see our way over the field. It will open before you. We begin to recover from all of our doubt that is blocking our will. With a little bit of thought, we can find ourselves moving. With a little bit of truth, we release all our blame. A shift in our mind, we create what we will be. Step up, decide what is all ours to claim. A shift in our mind, we create what we will be. Step up, embrace what is all ours to claim.
Hi, good morning. I'm Linda Han. I'm your Chief Operating Officer and a member of your Giving Intention team. Each year at this time, we reach out to our congregants and ask them to consider filling out a giving intention card, letting us know how much you plan to donate in the upcoming year. Now, my husband Stephen and I, we've been coming to the center for probably 13 years or so, and we've always filled out a card. We were always happy to do so. But truthfully, it wasn't until I joined the Giving Intention team and became a staff member 2 years ago that I truly understood the importance of this practice. By having this information in advance allows me to create an annual budget and present that to the Board of Trustees for their review and approval. This year, probably more than ever, it's that much more important for us to have this knowledge. We will be taking a look and making sure that we can pay our mortgage, our utilities. We'll be working with the education department to see what classes we can schedule. We'll be talking with Christopher to find out what guest musicians he has planned for next year, talking with Edward and Reverend Tara about guest speakers, and of course making sure we can pay our beloved staff. So I thank you for considering this. If you're new to the practice, please know it's not a binding contract. We're not going to send you an invoice. We don't call you if you get behind. In fact, if your circumstances change, all you need to do is reach out to Mitzi Hughes, our financial operations manager, or myself, and we're happy to make adjustments for you. And thanks to Alan Yeager, our webmaster, he has put together a beautiful form. It's very easy to complete. You can find it on the homepage of our website. And you'll notice that this year we're doing something a little different. Rather than having a section allocated for our building renovation, due to the pandemic, we're asking that all contributions go directly to our general fund. That way we can be assured that we can cover our operating expenses. And if something does come up for the facility itself, we can always just make adjustments and pay that out of the general fund. Lastly, I just want to thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching every Sunday. Thank you for attending classes and meditations and virtual social halls on Zoom. And most importantly, thank you so much for your notes of appreciation that you're sending in with your donations. It touches our heart greatly. So with that, please know that your staff loves you, we miss you, and we appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you so much.
So today I bring you our message from our stage, and although you're not in the audience with me, you're in the audience with me on Zoom and Facebook Live. Now I want to tell you a little story. You see these glasses that I'm wearing right now? I trust them. I can see clearly with them. The other day, just before I made a recording, I got out the little cloth that I used to clean the glasses, and I discovered there's no lenses in the glasses. You see, what I'd forgotten was I had taken the lenses out of these glasses for a photographic session because I didn't want the glare in the photograph. And I forgot to put the lenses back in. Nevertheless, wearing the glasses all day, I seem to be seeing perfectly clearly because I had confidence in the glasses. The minute I realized that the lenses weren't in the glasses, things got fuzzy. Isn't that interesting? Now, I don't want to make too much out of it, but it does bring up the question for me, what do I have faith in to make things work, to guide me, to help me see clearly? What do I trust in? What do I believe in? What do I count on? What do I depend on to shape me? Well, I'm going to change to my real glasses with lenses on so I can see. Apart from lenses and the physical things that help us manage through the world, I know, and I'm confident you know the same thing. I know that I can trust my spiritual practice. I can trust my spiritual values, and I can trust my spiritual vision to guide me. That is why last week I asked the question, how are you going to vote? Remember, I did not ask who are you going to vote for. I did not ask what are you going to vote for, but how are you going to vote? In other words, what do you trust to guide you in this process? What do you believe in? What do you count on to help you see clearly through the issues and the candidates to that which has heart and meaning for you? What will you have faith in to guide you to see clearly? Well, I'm guessing it's your spiritual practice. I'm guessing it's your spiritual values. I'm guessing it's that spiritual vision that guides you and all of Centers for Spiritual Living of a world that works for everyone. So, the spiritually motivated social engagement committee of Centers for Spiritual Living, which I'm a part of, put together a guide to voting from a spiritual perspective. Now, it's available on our website at www.cslsr.org. Now, you'll see this is a nonpartisan approach to guiding. It's all about spirituality. It can be adapted to any faith tradition, anybody who's walking a close walk with spirit. You can use it. Now, you go there and download it. Now, let me share with you some of the details of this guide. I've printed it out for us. The preamble says, the Spiritually Motivated Social Engagement Committee of Centers for Spiritual Living offers this voting guide for the first time. Yes, it's historic. This is a historic moment of evolution where we are, as a result of following our vision, matching our spiritual values, the teaching of Science of Mind, to how we show up in the world and become engaged. It's a support for voters from our spiritual communities and may certainly be adapted for other spiritual communities so that we may apply our vision and our values when we are making choices, electoral choices. Now, Centers for Spiritual Living as a movement, and Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa is a non-profit religious organization, and so it does not and cannot endorse any candidate for public office, but we can and we do encourage our spiritual community to apply Science of Mind teaching, our vision, our values, to apply them when we are making our choices. We also encourage everyone who is eligible to vote to do so. And then to prayerfully, spiritually consider every candidate, ballot, initiative, every policy next to those values so that you can see clearly through them. Now, what is in the guide? There are 4 things in the guide. First of all, voting our vision and values, a piece on what those are, with a quick, convenient one-pager that you can print out and use whether you're voting in a physical location or from your home. The second thing that is in the guide is a spiritual inspiration section about reflections on Science of Mind ideas that might help supplement you in your thinking. So there's the Vision and Values Guide, the one-pager, and then the inspiration. So that's the third thing. And then the last thing, which I'll spend some time on, are resources for you, spiritually minded resources. So let's talk a little bit about the first part, voting our vision and values. Here's the guide. This is wonderful. It says, before you vote, well, it's before you do anything in the world, before you vote, take time to familiarize yourself with the values of your spiritual tradition. Every faith tradition ought to do this. So ought we. Familiarize yourself with the values and the vision of your spiritual tradition. And so a summary of our organizational values are right here. Accountability, open communication, integrity, love, community service, compassion, caring, diversity and inclusivity, transformation and evolution. They're all here for you. Not only that, there is an appendix in the voting guide with the expanded language on every one of these shared values. Right underneath that is the summary points section of the vision that guides our movement. It's called the Global Vision, and the expanded language is in the appendix also. You may recall that several years ago, I believe it was in 2016, we used these summary points from the Global Vision for a whole year-long grassroots theme that, I think over 200 centers across the nation and possibly in other countries used to guide their study. These are the summary points. We see a world that works for everyone. Can you see how important that is to apply that idea to my voting, to my choices, to my spending? A life where all life is honored as expressions of the divine, where people live according to spiritual truth. We're trying to put that into action, where unity and connection are emphasized, where humanity awakens to its spiritual magnificence, where humanity rediscovers personal creative power, where we live as one global family. And if these are starting to sound familiar to you, it's because we spent a whole year talking about it. You can go onto our website and look in the archives of our videos and see in the year 2016 all of the messages and material related to these, if you would like to explore them more deeply. Where kinship with all life prospers, where spiritual guidance is valued, where we are called to conscious social action. That is exactly what we're doing right now. You know, sometimes people will say a church, a center, a synagogue, a mosque should not be political. Well, there is some truth to that. There is some confusion also between what is political and what has to do with human rights advocacy. You see, it is very clear that a center and a minister may not advocate for, encourage voting for a candidate or a political party. However, there is an imperative, a spiritual imperative, that we as a community become educated about human rights, human needs, social issues from our spiritual traditions perspective. We don't have to tell each other what to do, but we can study what is in our vision. We see a world where people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging, where forgiveness is the norm, where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all, where there is a renewed emphasis on beauty and nature, a renewed emphasis on nature. I want that to guide me in my choices. I want to be able to think about that. Creativity, art, and aesthetics, where resources are valued, cared for, and shared, where communities are meaningfully involved in service to the world. That's the first part. Familiarize yourself with that before you jump into whatever it is you're doing, in this case, voting. Then next, in preparation for voting, the guide says, research the candidate issues. Now, there's a terrific resource for you. You can get a personalized ballot information summary for your area by using one of the links in this guide. It's terrific. So download it, scroll through it, and you'll see there is a place for you to find out where your polling booth is, what the deadlines are, and what is on your particular ballot. Now, finally, when you're ready to make your selection, you want to sit with each question, each candidate for a position. Does this candidate display values that are consistent with my spiritual values, with my spiritual vision of the tradition I have chosen for? And you might even want to make a scorecard between the different candidates to see which one, because maybe not all of them will score 100% on all of the issues. You want to see which of your values are being represented in their promotions, in their decisions, in who they are in the world. That's your decision to make. And now you have a guide. Does the ballot measure, for example, express the values that my organization, that my heart and soul is interested in? Does it reflect a positive direction for everyone, a world that works for everyone as much as possible? Then, the third step the guide suggests, and I can see how I could apply this to everything. Buying a house, buying a car, changing a diet, go through it. Here's the next step. Before submitting your ballot, take a moment and make sure you're at peace with your decision. You see, spiritual intuition, our founder called it the divine in humankind, and said we can trust it to guide us in our choices. And so why not bring it in to the decision? Let me sit for a moment. Now, there is a practice that we use at Centers for Spiritual Living to access our intuition, and it is called visioning. Now, there is a summary, because perhaps you're not familiar with the process of visioning. There's a summary right from our class curriculum right here with tips for how you can do it. And don't you know, this practice of visioning is non-denominational. It doesn't belong to any faith tradition, and anyone may use it. It asks us to center ourselves in the divine, whatever that means to you, and then to ask a series of questions of ourselves, as if we're addressing a wise counselor in ourselves, because that's where the presence of the divine is, everywhere. And to sit and feel it, to sense it as best as we can. So the guide is in there for how to do that. There we are. Now, here's the one-page summary that you can print out and use. And there's this beautiful quote by well-known metaphysical teacher Raymond Charles Barker at the bottom. It says, "All intelligence abides in your subconscious and awaits your call upon it." That's what we're doing. We're calling upon that divine wisdom within us. Then he says, "You may say you do not know what to do, but at the center of your mind is the clear decision that you should make." It's right there. So let us assume that that is the truth, that within me, within you, is the information and the guidance. The mind, that creative field that is called mind, is active and present in us, and it can and does guide us, and we ought to use it in important matters like this. Oh, I wish I could read to you all of the quotes that team, the spiritually motivated social engagement team, put together for you for your consideration. This is wonderful material. And then the part I was so excited to share with you, the resources section, which you can just click on the links in the document, and it will take you to helpful places for your preparation. There is external links to how other organizations are dealing with the question of what can a religious organization do or not do. Maybe you want clarification on that. It's right in there. Clarifying the rules of IRS around what can you endorse a candidate from the pulpit? The answer is no, and we've given you the link to the IRS for that. Again, a beautiful resource from the League of Women's Voters, how to register to vote, how to check your voter status, a first-time voters checklist, a personalized ballot summary for you. It's all there. And then this one. I love this one. It's an Interfaith Power and Light is the name of the organization, voter reflection guide. So you click on that, and it will take you to this beautiful document, which I have printed out to show you, a reflection guide for faith communities. And in it, it has questions about important matters that appear that are up for us this year to discuss. You can use these questions with family members in neighborhoods, in Zoom calls and meetings. Here, the content: voting rights, climate justice for our children in the world, restorative racial justice, the global common good. So it tells you what you can look at now. I've highlighted a few of the questions just to give you an idea of them. Here's a great question. What does your faith teach about our responsibility for the earth and to others, and how they are interdependent? What a great question. Now, I can go back to the summary points of the global vision, and I have my answer right there. I can go and look at the values, and I can discuss that question. Here's another one. How has your faith community made an effort to cut emissions, save energy, or practice environmental stewardship? That's excellent, and if you don't know the answer, you can ask, because our staff has already done that. We're already ahead of that. Let's go to another section over here. Questions for reflections, and if you have the opportunity to ask leaders, you can ask them. But here's one for us. How can people of faith be more effective in using our stories, I call that our vision, our congregations, and our power to advocate for health care reform? Oh, what a beautiful discussion question. And I'm just breezing through this. Here's another one. What policies do you think are most important for creating security for your family and community? And on it goes. So I want you to have that. I want you to have access to that. And I want you with me to understand that civic responsibility is spirituality in expression. There is no way to separate our spiritual lives from living in this world, not in any area. So, I, for one, am thrilled with this guide. I feel like this is a historic moment of evolution for our movement in a moment in which we are taking what we believe, what we envision for all life, and doing our best to translate it into the nuts and bolts and actual actions that lead us forward. Now, you know, the purpose of a vision is to be larger than what we currently have as true. It is to be so audacious and so big that the mind boggles at how it could possibly come to pass. The vision doesn't tell us how. The vision tells us where. So we are looking toward a world that works for everyone. And then, as we let that resonate with us, the how begins to produce itself. And that's where our values come in. The strategy that I'm using to work towards a world that works for everyone, is it grounded in these values that I believe in? Can you feel my compassionate caring and my spiritual living in the way I engage, in the way I talk with family members, in the way I show up on social media, in the way, etc. So in closing, I invite you to breathe in with me and to exhale and to know with me that at the center of your being is that which is at the center of all being. A powerful good that not only can be depended on to see clearly, but is seeing clearly through us. Assisted now by our vision and steeped in our values, that power in us is alive, well, active, operating, and we can trust it. And so, I speak this word of prayer for and about our entire community, declaring it to be a center of spiritual living, a guide, a peacemaking center, a place of inspiration and help for the journey. And I celebrate this. I give thanks for it. and I allow it to stay active and alive and prominent in my thought. And so it is. My friends, it is time for our offering. In addition to thanking you for your support for our Center for Spiritual Living, I want to encourage you to take action today, to go to our website. You'll find the information there, and to let us know what your intended giving is for the year 2021, so that we may plan a budget in this interesting world with all of the adaptations we are having to make, so that we may maintain this Center for Spiritual Living, so that it may be for us the compass, the guide that it has been for over 65 years. I invite you to go to our website, explore it, contribute, fill out your pledge, your giving intention, and also to take a look at the new menu link that our webmaster, Alan Yeager, has made, showing all of the social media options available to you, and then to put into practice what it is we shared last week. Like the posts, comment on them, and share them. And most importantly, do keep in mind that the spiritual guide to voting is available to you. Thank you so much for being part of the spiritual community.
1, 2, 3, 4. The call life. Let go the fight and shine. We know what's right. We've known it our whole lives. Let go the fight and shine.
Okay, it's time for our community announcements. Let's see if I can do these announcements without my glasses on. Everything I'm about to share with you can be found on our website, www.cslsr.org, and it's all under the Services tab, where you'll find the bulletin filled with details and links. Today is the last day to receive early bird discount pricing for any of our 4 classes. And registration closes at the end of the week for 3 of our core classes: the Essential Earnest Homes with Reverend Ruth Barnhart, Self-Mastery with practitioner Megan Rooney, and a new class, Spiritual Principles and Practices, taught by me, Edward Fillion, Dr. Kim Kaiser, Reverend Tara Steele, practitioner Lawrence Edwards, as well as practitioner emeritus Kathleen Kearney. Our weekly and monthly groups continue to meet online, and you can find out more information about them at our website. Here are 2 highlights. At today's Full Circle gathering, which takes place at 1 p.m., participants will be discussing the topic, how do you shelter? As part of their monthly conversation, it's about issues relating to death and dying and life. Wednesday Night Wisdom takes place at 7 p.m., and it continues this month with a program based on the book See No Stranger by activist and civil rights attorney Valerie Kaur. Our practitioners offer free confidential prayer right after our service. Now, if you want to receive prayer after this broadcast, at the end, leave this Zoom webinar and go to the special link after service prayer, which you can find on our website also. The practitioners arrive a bit before so that they can set up and be ready for you. So they're looking forward to supporting you in prayer, and they want you to come and take advantage of the service that they're offering. So thank you very much for being part of this community.
Hello, my name is Nancy Reynolds. I'm the current Vice President of the Center's Board of Trustees, and I'm also the Chair of the Board Nominating Committee this year, and we are in the process of accepting applications for the 3 members who will join our board next March. And today I'm back with Kate Luna, who is one of our first-year board members, and I've got another question for Kate. I would like to know, Kate, can you tell us a little bit about the application process for the board and what that was like for you?
Yeah, I loved it. At first I was a little daunted by the questions. I was like, and then I was like, no, this is an opportunity. And there's nobody to impress. It's just, I get to tell my truth here. And if that's what's wanted and needed right now, so be it. But I really let go of outcome and let myself, that step, just do it and explore. And so it was like taking a class to me at the center. It was so rich and really asked me to like go deeper and really look at some things, of put words to feelings that I had, that was really touching to me. And I loved the whole thing and really appreciate it. I came away feeling like, well, if I'm on or I'm not on, I just got to do that. That felt really good.
That's a really nice process, isn't it? And I've heard from people that were not selected, that even though they weren't selected, they loved the process and the opportunity to ask certain questions about their spiritual practice in relation to serving as a volunteer on the board.
Yeah, and I really let go of outcome, which is also an old pre-existing condition. Like, well, what is this gonna? And it felt so right. And I realized that if I didn't want to be waiting to find out, people would ask me, so have you heard? I was like, no, I haven't. I'll hear when I hear. It'll happen or it won't. Like, and that also felt so powerful to me, and such a gift to be drawn to go through it in that way without feeling like it was a personal thing. So.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's a gift to the board and the center that you're on the board this year. Thank you very much, Kate. I appreciate it. So if anyone is interested in learning more, we can't talk to you in the social hall right now, but we can give you a lot of information and be available online for you to ask questions. And if you'll take the time to go to the center's website, cslsr.org, there you'll find from the homepage a link to all the information you need about applying for the Board of Trustees, as well as links to the current trustees if you'd like to ask us some questions. So we hope to hear from you, and we will look forward to seeing your application in the queue. All right, thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Won't you please say these words with me? And if they are not yet familiar to you, they will become familiar to you when you visit us more frequently and join us in these broadcasts. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses its love through your love in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence of love within. And so it is. I'll see you next week.
Prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace, and I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to